So today we're going to look at calculus. Calculus is a topic that is very well tested in the JAMB syllabus, so you're going to expect it in the UTME. All right, calculus. We have calculus 1 and calculus 2. Calculus 1 is all about differentiation. What is differentiation? Differentiation is the process of finding the differential coefficient of a function. So differentiation is the process of finding the differential coefficient of a function. That might sound very strange or too high sounding for some of us, but some of us understand gradients. So you must have heard about gradients, okay? Slope. So it's represented as dy dx, all right? Okay, so dy dx, this is called dy dx, or the differential coefficient of y with respect to x. This is the symbol for the differential coefficient of y with respect to x. So they're just fancy ways of saying differentiation, okay? Or you say dy dx measures the rate of change of y compared with x. So it measures the rate of change of y compared with x. So you must have met it in under coordinate geometry when you talk about the gradient of a graph, of a straight line graph, or the slope of a straight line graph. In general, if there's a function y that can be represented as ax raised to the power n, okay, this looks all right. So today we're going to look at calculus. Calculus is a topic that is very well tested in the JAMB syllabus, so you're going to expect it in the UTME. All right, calculus. We have calculus 1 and calculus 2. Calculus 1 is all about differentiation. What is differentiation? Differentiation is the process of finding the differential coefficient of a function. So differentiation is the process of finding the differential coefficient of a function. That might sound very strange or too high sounding for some of us, but some of us understand gradients. So you must have heard about gradients, okay? Slope. So it's represented as dy dx, all right? All right. So this expression simply measures the rate of change. It measures the rate of change of y compared with x. So there are several ways of saying this. You could say the question could say differentiate y with respect to x, or you could say find the differential coefficient of y with respect to x, or different ways, okay? So in short, we just like to say differentiate. All right, so let's look at, so in general, if you have this expression, to differentiate y with respect to x, to differentiate y with respect to x, you just multiply the coefficient times the power, and then you take down the unknown. In our case, x is the unknown, and then subtract 1 from the power, and that is our. Okay, so let's look at some examples. The question says differentiate this. Differentiate this. All right, so I can say, okay, let y equals to 3x squared. So then dy dx, or the differentiation of y with respect to x will become, remember this is our, so this is our coefficient, this is our a, and then this is our power n. So it's coefficient times power, that's 3 times 2, 3 times 2, okay? You can put that in the bracket. Then your unknown is x, and then subtract 1 from the power. So as simple as that. So you're left with 6x raised to the power 1, and ordinary 6x, just like that, because 1 is assumed. So that's the answer of that. All right, so if I'm to recap that, all right, so I'll just recap. So we are told to differentiate this expression, 2 over x squared. Now 2 over x squared, we can simplify it as 2 times 1 over x squared. Okay, so this is this, and now remember 1 over x squared in indices can be written as x raised to the power minus 2. All right, so this is now what we need to differentiate. Now apply our general rule. Remember, coefficient times power, that's 2 times minus 2. Then put down the unknown, and then subtract 1 from the power. So that's minus 2 minus 1. So 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. Then we have your x, and then minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. So this is your answer, or you can leave it like this, all over x cubed. All right, same thing. So let's look at this one. So we're told to differentiate the following expressions with respect to x. So let's look at question D. So we're told to differentiate this. So we can just say let y be this. So x cubed plus 7x squared minus 4x minus 5. So what is dy dx, or the derivative of y with respect to x, or the differential coefficient of y with respect to x? Here I will say it, just differentiate y with respect to x. So it becomes, coefficient is 1. 1 is the coefficient here, so we don't write it. So it's 1 times 3, and then your unknown, then subtract 1 from 3, that becomes 3x squared. Then this one is 7 times 2, that's 14, subtract 1, x. Alright, so we are talking about differentiating this expression. So we said let's equate it to y. So let y, all of this be y. So we can now say the differentiation of y with respect to x. So we're differentiating this, okay? Alright, so remember, how do we differentiate? Coefficient times power, and then take away 1 from the power. So 3 minus 1 is that. So say coefficients, when you don't have a number, we don't usually don't write 1 as a coefficient. So that's why it is 3x squared. Then 7 times 2, 14. Take away 1 from that, then minus 4 times 1, minus 4. Okay. Alright. So I'll come again. So I have 3x squared plus, okay, because 1 times 3 that then, plus 14x. That's 2 minus 1 is x raised to power 1. Remember, we don't write 1. Then 4 minus 4 times 1 is minus 4 x. Okay, 1 minus 1, okay, that's 0. Then minus 5. To differentiate a constant is basically 0. So all of this is 0. Differentiate a number that doesn't have unknown x, 0. So I'm left with 3x squared plus 14x minus 4, because x raised to power 0 is 1, and then that's all we're left with. So this is our final answer, 3x squared plus 14x minus 4. Alright, so let's look at this. We are asked to differentiate this, 3x squared plus 5x minus 3. So we just say if y is equal to this, okay, let's equate it to y. So dy dx, or the derivative of y with respect to x, is simply 3 times 2, then x, that's 2 minus 1 raised to x raised to power 1. Now 5 times 1, remember, power of 1, we don't write it, so that's 5x to power 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. Then 1 minus, so 1 x raised to power 1 minus 1, that's 0. Differentiation of a constant is 0, so differentiate minus 3 is becomes 0. So I'm left with 6x plus 5, because x to the power 0 is 1.